week ago, Jacob gave me a call, and he wants to build a SEMA car in 290 days. And it is the 14th of January today.
Yeah.
And we're starting to gather friends, gather people who are interested in building a car and, see what type of resources we can come up with.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for...
We're looking for people to make it possible because we're not going to be able to do this by ourselves.
We're looking for a lot of people to make it possible.
Yeah. It's going to take a village.
It's going to take a village to make this happen or come true. So, hey, if you're interested in building a SEMA car, send us a message. We'd love to talk to you, to see, to work with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing that we're looking for right now is, and your mom actually brought it up, ironically, but auto body.
Yeah, we don't have anybody who can do body work.
No, we've found an abundance of people that are good at machining and engine work, but not body work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's the core focus right now, is identifying people in the bodywork industry that are looking to be a part of a SEMA build, and then can help play a role in that, and then in turn they can, grow with us in this process.
Yeah, we need an artist.
We need a lot of artists.
We need a lot of artists. Yeah.
Initial feedback that I'm getting right now on social media across the board is a lot of people are rooting for us, that they want to see it happen, but everyone is acknowledging that these are uncharted waters and that it's going to take a lot of people. I mean, there's people that have been attempting builds for years and they haven't completed them, but a lot of it is because they're solo attempts.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I do have this vision of being able to finish the car and then have everyone autograph their signature that was a part of the build on the inside, on like the dash.
Yeah.
So that we can like pay homage to everyone that was a part of it, and then kind of, cement that into the build.
Yeah.
So I'd love to envision doing that too.
First S58 E30 ever made to that.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure how we're going to do it, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I think it's
one step at a time.
It's going to take one step in front of you, the other. Probably going to need a donor car. The more I think about it, the more I realize we're probably going to need a full donor car.
Yeah.
So.
That's what Copart is for.
Ironically, I have a buddy of mine that just bought an M4, and he is over in the Philippines right now and just got married over there. He's from there originally. But he has an M4 comp sitting in the garage of the house that he bought here, and he's not sure if he's going to be moving back here. So we might have ourselves a potential donor car, untouched, low mileage.
You're going to go steal it?
We're not going to steal it. We're going to buy it. It's something that's sitting in the back of my mind as an opportunity or a potential solution, because there's just so much of the build that will rely on all the intricate parts and computers and sensors and things that...
I'm not entirely sure how we're going to get all the computers to work in harmony.
Yeah.
Because modern cars have so many security systems and everything has to communicate to each other.
With the central computer, yeah.
Like, for all that stuff to work. And I'm not sure how netted together all of it is.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good question for Grant.
I know, like, a lot of cars, you're like, if you don't have certain modules, like, it just breaks the ECU.
Yeah. There's been a few people in the space that have said that you probably will need a standalone ECU that is like fully programmed and customized to make things work.
Yeah.
Because
it'd be nice to use the BMW one because you'd have a lot of refinement that we won't get on a standalone.
Correct.
I would think anyways.
I would be curious if this isn't something that has been already fully done from a cracking the ECU, or if it's something that we would have to account for as part of the build, is finding someone or somebody that owns a business that can make that possible, because that's, like you said, you can't get the refinement that you can from a standalone that you can from the factory ECU.
We'll figure it out.
Just like the rest of the build.
Problem you're anticipating.
The drivetrain.
Yeah.
Warping the body.
You want to do an all-wheel drive.
I want to attempt an all-wheel drive. I want to be able to turn on four-wheel drive and then have rear-wheel drive for the drift track.
So his idea is, I believe the M3 and the anything bigger than the M3 has it, right? The competition?
X-Drive.
M4.
Yep, M3 and M4 have the X-Drive.
Yeah, so the M3 and all other BMW's cars have X-Drive.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob wants to put the X-Drive system in his E30 BMW. They don't even offer it in the M2.
Right.
And that's all of BMW's engineers put together. They couldn't fit it in their M2 affordably anyways. I'm sure they could have if they tried really hard.
Yeah, like a one-off.
But I haven't really looked at the X-Drive system ever. I've never really taken a whole lot of time to look at those on the competition cars. So.
Yeah, Grant.
It'll be interesting to peek under Grant's cars. And
yeah, I'm looking forward to us being able to poke around Grant's cars and see things and understand and visualize just how much modifying this will take. Obviously, in an ideal world, it will require very little, but that's highly unlikely given the fact that, like you said, it's a smaller body that we're trying to compress all of these larger components.
So we'll see what we can do with that too.
Mm-hmm.
It may be totally feasible. It may not be.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have to see how big everything is.
Because the B58 has been executed, it makes me very optimistic about the S58. The X-Drive is where I get a little hung up.
We can fit the engine and transmission in.
Yeah, I don't see that being a problem.
But
I don't know.
Four-wheel drive system might be another story.
Especially with what I see is, like, to make the X-Drive, the four-wheel drive system fit, it would require so much modification to the body of the car, because there would be so much fitment that would be required that's aftermarket. And then also to what you said about how you don't want to compromise on any sort of warping of the body or the shell under that kind of stress. Because if
it would be nice if we could take a subframe from an M3, the front and the rear, and unbolt them and weld up brackets for the so that we could quite literally bolt the subframe, like with the engine and transmission, up to the bottom of your E30.
Did you see the video I sent you the other day?
No.
Someone did an F80 rear subframe on an E30. They did exactly what you said.
Huh.
They mounted, see if I can find it real quick. They mounted the full subframe, which, I mean, that's a good sign. I mean, people are doing these things.
It is doable. I'm not quite sure how good it would feel driving it. You might feel like you're driving a tin can.
Did y'all boys not get the memo?
Oh, that's simple enough.
That was it.
It's doable. I mean, a lot of that stuff looks like custom made stuff.
Well, I mean, 99% of everything on that is custom fabricated.
Might be original.
Yeah, but like, that's only one generation older, right? So, gives me some hope. A lot of this is just riding on hope and optimism. But I think that's what's going to make it happen. So
yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And it's a dream.
It's a big dream.
Mm.
I think it's gonna do a lot for the car scene in the sense of, like, showing that crazy things can be done with the right people involved. And then I'm looking forward to kind of like what we talked about with your parents about how there's so much opportunity for us to build the aftermarket support for this and then become a sort of a beacon for people that are attempting other similar builds to trust in the wherewithal that we have now executing something like this to then come to us as that entity that has attempted and succeeded in this. So I'm looking forward to that side of this as well.
Yeah, we could help out a lot of people. Do some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Because, we're just two people with an idea, but there's a lot of creativity out there.
Right.
There's a lot of people who are brilliant. Take the idea and run crazy with it.
Yeah. Really, like you said, we're looking for the artists. We're looking for the creative people. I mean, even that guy, like, we should probably be able to become friends with him because we're probably going to need some advice and some input and some insight into how he's pulling those things off, because it's those kinds of connections and those people that will make it happen.
When we were kids, we built a dune buggy. I'm sure Grant will have a lot to say about this. But my dad and me and my brother kind of we put together this dune buggy. We had a Kawasaki 700 ATV that we took apart, and we cut it up and took the engine out of it and all the electronics and stuff. And my dad knew how to use SolidWorks, so he drew up a nice frame on SolidWorks and bent all the tubing and welded it up, made it really nice, gave it a good red paint job.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fun. We used it for years.
Don't you still have it up there?
No, we sold it like a year ago.
But I remember we used to ride that around back a couple years ago.
I think you drove it a couple times, actually, didn't you?
Yeah, down by that house that burned down with the pool.
Yeah, I mean, by the time we sold it, it was always breaking. It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a cool project. It kind of goes to show, like, with enough of scratching your head, you can do anything.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Like, being able to kind of push through and scratch your head and understand and figure things out. Like, that's why I feel like this is very achievable with all of the right people.
Yeah.
So that's
completely. Well, we've got some chromoly tubing bender.
Yep.
And a couple of nice welders. So maybe we'll start with the roll cage.
Yeah, roll cage is probably.
If you guys have input on where we can start, like what we should be doing, we're happy to hear it. So,
any design inputs, any suggestions?
We're two guys with a sketchbook.
Yeah.
We're just normal people.
Yeah, I like that. We'll probably have to clean it out first. I'd imagine we'll trailer it and probably get it started soon. I mean, where do we even source the piping? Where do you get that from?
We've got some up here.
Yeah.
We can use a lot of that.
Is it aluminum?
No, we've got some chromoly. Might not be the right stuff, to be honest.
Probably
pretty light gauge stuff.
Okay. Probably need to do
research. It'd be great for structural. Yeah? Very strong.
Okay, then that's probably what we want.
It's not something you'd want to, like, trust your life to in an accident, though. Like, for roll cages, usually they're big old things like that, that are real heavy duty, like beefy.
I haven't seen them that big. Most of the ones I see are just structural stuff.
Hey, I'll show you what it is.
Yeah, let's check it out. But, yeah, roll cage is probably in the...
We'll start with that, because that's what we have.
Yeah.
Let's start with the roll cage.
We'll start with the roll cage. I mean, that won't add too much weight either. So it'll still be very mobile to move the shell around. Following that, there'll probably be a lot of custom fabricating for engine mounts, front and rear subframe. And then...
we need to find a donor.
I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I think Grant, too, will be a good conversation tomorrow or Wednesday to identify a donor.
Yeah, he's a pretty sharp kid.
Yeah. He seems to know where to get it. We'll trust that process. But yeah, excited to kind of build the cage out, get this thing rolling in an efficient manner. There's going to be so much cool content to shoot with that. So I'm excited to film it. It'll be fun.
We're going to learn how to TIG weld.
I've never done it before. I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, thanks for sticking with us if you've made it this far. We're looking forward to sharing the build with you guys. As Aaron kind of mentioned, we have less than 200. Well, we actually have 290 days starting today to pull this off. So if you're located in the Southern California area and you are interested in lending any sort of advice or a hand on this thing, we would really appreciate all help. Because like I've said in pretty much every video, this is going to take a village to pull it off. So we're looking forward to doing this with you guys. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, follow for more, and we'll see you in the next one.